Okay, so this is a shop video that I made a while back. It is an Orthey 48 string diatonic auto harp with a sycamore top, and it's got a quite unusual string setup, including 6 extra strings on the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, 6. Then a run of 36 fine tuners. They're Oscar Schmidt fine tuners, all the way up to the top, which is quite unusual also. And I'm going to show you that here in a minute. Here it is from the top. I've already got a bunch of strings on it now, and show you the end. There's the 6 on the bottom, loop end, and then there's 6 fine tuner slots on the top that I have yet to occupy, but there's pins for 12 more strings. And so you have to put in 2 strings into each fine tuner at the top, and they run only, well, less than 1/8 of an inch apart, which is pretty weird. But it's to get 48 strings on here. Here's a custom string set that was made by Greg Schreiber. Thank you, Greg. 2 strings go to 1 ball. Pretty funny, huh? And that's going to all go to the very top, and you have to thread them through the, I call it the little horsey because it looks like a little horse on the Oscar Schmidt fine tuners. So you've got 2 strings on 1 fine tuner, and we're going to do 6 of those assemblies on the top, and they run to a pair of pins up here from 1 fine tuner down here. And yes, it does work to tune them with 1 fine tuner. You got to tune them exactly together with the pins at the top. Now right along here in the soundboard there's a bulge. I'm going to show you that from the side now. I'm just going to tip it up so you can sort of kind of see it. If you squint, you can see the bulge under there, and it's a lot more pronounced when the strings have tension on them, which this does not yet. But I think that's from 40 years of sitting there with string tension, and it probably wasn't built to hold that much tension, and I think it had the wrong strings on it for a long time. So now I'm going to go ahead and install 1 pair while the camera watches. So the fine tuner, or the string ball, has to have the little flags or tabs at the bottom bent down so that the ball will hunker up into the fine tuner cam. So I'm bending that down. Standard fine tuner stuff. Now I'm going to grab the screw and put a little bit of WD on it. WD-40, when things need to move. And here's an example of where, if I was a real YouTuber, I would just have an extra camera to get the camera angle better, but I just don't have time to set all that up. I've got work to do. So that screws in there. And now I'm going to take one of these and thread it along to the top using the fishhook method that John Gray of dAigle Autoharps came up with, and I think it's just brilliant. That sort of goes outside the realm of this video to explain it to you, though there are other tuning videos on the web, including my own channel, that show this. But basically you put a little fish hook I think I zoom in here. Yep. Hopefully that's not too grainy. You put a little fish hook on the end of the wire and pull it into the pin instead of threading it through the pin, and then crank it up while pulling it back like an archery bow on the string to keep tension on it. And make sure that it rides on the fine tuner in the right place. And now we're going to repeat for the other one. I always go 3 finger widths past the pin that I'm going to put it through. Put a bend in it. Use that bend to mark where I'm going to snip. Bend in the fish hook. Put the fish hook through the hole into the pin. Sometimes it takes a while to get it to go in. And then pull back on the string so that you're holding it tight. And then crank it up. Make sure that the string winds down the pin, not up. It all has to go below the place where the string entered the tuning pin. Okay, and now I'm going to show you this pair, how close together they are. Standard string spacing is 1/8 of an inch, but these double courses at the top are closer to, standard string spacing is 1/4 inch. These are closer to 1/8 of an inch apart, or even less, really. And then there's 1/4 inch spacing, so you can see how close they are. These are tuned in pairs all the way to the bottom, except for the bottom 6, which are single tuned. So the whole harp has about 4 octaves, 3 octaves complete of double strings for a GD diatonic. The back is spruce. George would often put the spruce on the back, which makes it kind of vulnerable because it's a soft wood, and a belt buckle can scratch it up, or a necklace, or a pendant. And I wanted to show you real quick this stick that I use to keep the fine tuners level. You just adjust each one so that it's at the same height as the stick, and they all come out nice and even. Okay, so now I'm going to go out and play this harp for you after I get it all tuned up. Hey there, everybody. Okay, so this thing is done now. This is that 48 string Orthey. It's a GD diatonic. The customer sent it in to us to have dAigle chord bars put on it because it had a 2-row set, 2 button rows on it, and they wanted 3. And this is a bit narrower than what was on it. So we've fixed it up. We had to order special strings from Greg Schreiber, as always, and get those on here. Remember that it's got, see if I can get this close enough where you can see it. It's got 6 or 7 doubled course strings up here at the top. Sounds great. So I thought I would just play a little something here. Looks like my battery might die though, so hopefully I can get this out before it does. there's those pretty sure Brian Bowers has some of these. Got to have really long arms to reach around something like this. Brian's got long arms. So it goes from low D to high D, which is the same range as a 37 string diatonic, but it's got 48. So all those extra strings are all the extra doubles that this has. Every string is doubled from the very top all the way down to about, well, so down to here. That's the first double pair right there, all the way up. So I think it's got 3 full doubled octaves all the way to the top, and that's why they had to put on the tiny little close together courses, which you also saw on my bench video. So there you go. I'm going to turn this camera off before my battery runs out. I wanted to have this clip. Thanks for watching Stalking the Wild Autoharp. If you want lessons, you know I teach, just come to my website, halweeks.com, and you can click through and read about my lessons and sign up for some. And we can get you on there on Zoom and teach you how to play the autoharp. So we'll be seeing you around. Bye-bye.